Today is Friday, Parashat Chukat. We're going to be reading tomorrow in the Sefer Torah from the Parasha of Chukat. Chukat means a statute, meaning it's a law that doesn't have necessarily a logical explanation, as different from Mishpatim, which are laws that are logical. Somebody could arrive to those conclusions just on his own, like do not steal. It's a law written in the Torah, but anybody in his right mind would come to this conclusion that for society to be able to exist and harmony, and for people to get along with each other, and the right thing to do is just not to steal. So these Mishpatim are types of laws that are logical, that we can come to the same conclusions, even if they were not written in the Torah. But there are certain sets of laws of the Torah that are chukim or chukah. A chukah is a type of statute of a law that is set in the Torah, and if you try to understand it with our limited human logic or understanding, you may not come to understand why and how come. And one of such laws is the law of Parah Adumah, the red heifer. This is a Parah Adumah was burnt, and from the ashes that are mixed with water from a spring, that mixture is sprinkled on a person who was ritually impure. He came in contact maybe with a corpse, or was in a place where somebody, in a room where there was somebody who passed away, or maybe he went to a cemetery, and he became tameh, a tum'ah, that the only way to purify it is by sprinkling that mixture of spring water with the ashes of the Parah Adumah, of the red heifer. And in the process of sprinkling or preparing the ashes, there are many questions that can come up. It is odd that the person who's preparing or sprinkling is becoming tameh, even though he was tahor, becoming impure. But the person whose those ashes are sprinkled on is being purified from his tum'ah, from his impurity. To some extent, this doesn't make sense. Even Shlomo HaMelech, who was the wisest of all men, said, "Ahkema, amarti ahkema v'yirechoka mimeni." Even though he was a very wise man, he was the wisest of all men, v'yirechoka mimeni, this mitzvah of Parah Adumah is very far from me. It's very difficult to understand, to come to the bottom of why is it that way. These odd situations where the person who's sprinkling becomes tameh, the person who's sprinkled on becomes tahor. What's going on here? So, and the pasuk says, "Zot Chukat Hatorah." This is the chukah of the Torah. It doesn't say this is the chukah of the Parah Adumah. This is the chukah of the Torah. Now, sages explain that, of course, we learn Torah, we understand what's sitting in it, we understand what are the reasons behind many of the mitzvot, but there will be certain aspects of the Torah that are beyond our human intellect. And even though they're beyond our human intellect, with our faith in Hashem and our belief in the Torah, we are to accept them and to understand and realize that the Torah is divine. And this is the idea of Na'aseh v'nishma that Am Yisrael said, that we will do the mitzvot that we are commanded by Hashem, v'nishma, and then we'll hear, we'll then possibly be able to understand some aspects of it. But even if we don't understand why is this or that mitzvah, what's the reason behind, let's say, eating meat and milk together? There are many mitzvot in the Torah that we accept because they come from Hashem in His divine wisdom. That's how He created the world, so that these mitzvot will be part of our obligations, or part of our commandments, even when we don't understand them. And that's a very important concept to understand, to have in mind. And unfortunately, sometimes you have people who are selective about what mitzvot they do. And they may do only mitzvot that make sense to them. And those that don't make sense to them, they feel like, well, maybe they shouldn't fulfill them. The Torah is what Chukat Hatorah. We have to accept the Torah as a divine gift from Hashem. And we should follow those things, even that we don't fully understand, just because it's from mitzvah min Hashem. And that's the idea of the pasuk that says, Zot Chukat Hatorah. That the whole Torah should be looked as a chukah, as something that we fulfill, and that we do the mitzvot, even those mitzvot that we're not able yet to understand. And we may not be able to grasp the depth of them, we still fulfill them as we're commanded by Hashem. Baruch Adonai le'olam, amen ve'amen, and Shabbat Shalom.